Okay, reading from the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Anchulila 5, text 18. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudeva Datta Alina Shane. Shivananda Sena Adi Apta Varga Sane. At that moment, Vasudeva Datta and various other associates headed by Shivananda Sena arrived there. Omagana Timarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Taksu Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Pansha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So greetings from Kerala, the something Vasasuddha Ayurvedic Hospital. I was decided to treat myself to Panchkarma. Very powerful detox. But I'll just tell you my story. I was going to write about it, but I told you before that there's a science of omens, and that somehow or other I'm very attuned to that. Whenever my left eye twitches, then something inauspicious will happen. Now, for someone who's a Vaishnava, a devotee of God, his karma is different because everything is meant to bring you closer to Krishna. And our value system is not to control and enjoy the world, but to enjoy and serve the world. So generally inauspicious means we can't enjoy and control, which happened to me. But for a devotee, it turns out to be in a different way, and we remain undisturbed. Much as I was there in Dallas when Prabhupada came, and all the students were there, and he instituted learning a verse of Gita every day, and he started off with one famous verse. I remember Prabhupada sitting there, Martras Sparshas Dakonteya, Sitoshna Sukha Dukada, Agama Payano Nityas, Tams Tatitshashravarita. As the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course of time change, like the summer and the winter season, one should learn to tolerate them. So, one thing is, I'll tell one thing is I'm using my phone for this because, my computer went out, so I can't enjoy and control that way. But wow, isn't that a beautiful thing? You have to become more in touch with reality. So, but really what happened is it was really wonderful in Mayapur. And every day different people were inviting me, and it was good. And I'm kind of a very healthy person. So I would just eat a light breakfast and then eat lunch at 1:30, and then I would eat again. But people were cooking really nice, and it was really good. It was not was good. What was good is the love and the exchange after COVID and seeing so many people. And I was giving class twice a week. I used to give every day, and for so many years, especially for people in the Russian-speaking language, and I have the best translators in Yugal and Jagadish. So they're very, there's a loving exchange, and it builds up over years. The dati pritagrinati guyam adyachi prichati bhunte bojiate chaiva. When it was love, you give gifts, you accept gifts. Guyam adyachi prichati. You inquire in confidence. In other words, you teach. You teach and you answer questions and you enlighten, and another type of love is that you learn. And bhunte bojitaiva, the exchange of prasadam. So it was really, for 1 month, it was like floating in an ocean of love. And even when I left at Yugala, they have a beautiful and Jagadish house. The devotees that I know, man, mostly Russian, but not just what they came. There's kirtan, garlands, and then the community got together and they all cooked different things, and they loaded me up with prasadam because it was going to be a 2-day trip. So the ride to Calcutta is a little brutal, and then from there I'd have to get on a plane and another plane and then be in Cochin and then go for another 2. So I broke it up, and there was a discount at the Holiday Inn Express, and I got some donations, and I would stay there. So I left after breakfast about 10 o'clock. I got about 3 o'clock. And then when I opened everything, the food, literally, even the salad had fried cheese, cashews, dripping with ghee, everything. So it was so heavy. Okay, and traveling, Chanaka Pandit says traveling makes a man old. Even Ayurveda, once you travel faster than a bullock cart, it blows out the fire of digestion. And when you move to a new area, physiologically, your body has to adjust to different water, different air, different sounds, and it increases the mode of passion, which affects the digestion. So it wasn't really, but they packed for 2 days. They packed actually 2 days for 40 people. I don't know what they were thinking, but anyway, I got there. The only thing that didn't have fried cashews and fried cheese was the calzones and the sweet. Anyway, so I picked through it. And anyway, I didn't take that much. But when I woke up the next morning, ready to get on the plane, I felt a little run down, and I was afraid, oh my God, if I have a little fever, they won't let me on the plane. Then what I'm going to do? Where am I going to go? I'll be stuck in Calcutta. I got to find a hotel room, and So anyway, I got there, and then I got to Chennai, and then I waited several hours, and I got on the plane. And then, it was a real first-class place. They were waiting with a nice car and driver for me at the airport in Cochin, and we drove like 2.5, 3 hours to the Ayurvedic center in the jungle or something. And not really, but so I got there, and it was really, every institution has to have a culture. And I read a book. A culture is not what you say it is. It's what people feel when they come to your place. That's what the culture of your home is. That's what the culture of an institution is. And I don't think I'm a sannyasi. I don't know if even the head, it's all Swiss people. It's all from Switzerland. But the head is some Christian, I think, from Kerala or something. He's in Switzerland now. But we got good reviews. I met Bhakti Vigyan Goswami here. And I came. They were waiting for me. And a nice lady from Kerala in that dress gave me a little bouquet of flowers. They came and there was a lamp and they gave me something to light the lamp. They came to my room and they said, would you like a massage? And I said, wow, this is getting really good. This is getting really good. So I said, that'd be great. So I went in and two expert people, on one side and, a lot of oil and right away. And then right after that, they took me to see the doctor to make the protocol, et cetera. And then they gave me a card. Okay, next morning at 11:20 and 4:20, 11:20, you're getting this, and 4:20, you're getting that. And then we'll take it from there. And then I went with Bhaktivedanta Goswami in the morning and his disciples for very simple food. So then the doctor came to my room and he said, it was time for that massage. He said, just wait here. You mind if we take a COVID test? And it turned out to be positive. And so I was thinking, oh yeah, like omens, my left eye was twitching. So the omens, so what were the, and what a commentary in the Bhagavatam, when Akrura came to Vrindavan, and he was the assistant of Kamsa, so he didn't know how Krishna and the coward boys would greet him. So he's a little apprehensive, but when he was driving, a deer stopped on the right side of the chariot and looked at him with the eyes of the deer, which are very auspicious. So he felt some confidence. And the commentators say that very contemporary commentators say it's just like in a car. When there's no seatbelt, the light's on. It indicates there can be something inauspicious. So I said, oh, okay. This is not enjoyable. And they said, because of this, we have to quarantine you. So in the back of the property, it's like a jungle-like property with these beautiful South Indian, there's a little cabin, simple and suitable. And you'll have to be there for 7 days. And I can't start the treatment. I really try to be equal in happiness and distress. By the time you're 71, I'm going to be 72, you get tired of trying to control the world. It's more anxiety than whatever happens to you is trying to control it. But I did have a moderate sore throat. I had a low fever and I was very fatigued and tired and had to take a lot of rest. Well, I kept prescribed by my doctors I kept a COVID medical protocol that I always keep with me for the whole COVID. Some repurposed drug and some zinc, quercetin, vitamin D, zinc, things that are recommended and everybody. And this thing, you fly your own ship, who you have faith in. So I had my faith, and again, anyway, and Ayurvedic people gave me medicine. So symptoms are basically gone in 1 or 2 days. Although moderate sleeping more is there. But the computer also broke. And I was there this morning. Okay, my Monday morning greetings gone. My computer broke. And then these glasses, they're also so scratched, I basically can see with them, can't see through them anymore. It's a real struggle. But what I did is I got some new glasses in Vrindavan, which as soon as I got to Mayapur, I was going to exchange, but they gave the wrong prescription. I can't see through them. So I just see, how, well, one realization, many realizations, without realization is because I'm sitting there chanting and it's a little bit of a forest and just realizing how everything that, people didn't have all the things we had now and they were fine and they weren't bored. They had real life. And even meditators, they stayed in the forest. Now I got a chance. Let me test myself and be like a real meditator. And I still got the phone here. But just, immediately the realizations come in, calm the mind and go deeper and deeper. The world is exciting because the world is God. And real excitement is that energy of love between us and the Supreme. And the more, and not only that, but we're losing in this world our abilities to see God. Because there's so many contraptions or inventions. There's so many things that give us the illusion that we're controlling. But I just see, what would a real sannyasi in the day of yore do? A real sannyasi in the day of yore, they would travel in the forest, not knowing where they'll eat, not knowing where they'll drink, not knowing where they'll sleep. And what would happen? God would maintain, and God would protect. And that's really the purpose of sannyas, renunciation in my order. That's the real purpose. And actually, because it's not only an intellectual thing, it's a feeling of love because you're feeling God's protection. So I'm sitting out there because I wasn't even prepared with bringing many good books. They were all on my computer. And anyway, I have an iPad. I still have so many contraptions, the rascal that I am. But I definitely had that kind of sweet realization that of an ability to depend more on God and see God more, and how we do that. We do that in whatever ashram we're at. Grihastha does it by responsibility and charity. That they see that it's all God. So, and now the other thing I realized is in terms of disease, I think there's not just one thing, and I don't think it's just the germs, it's the condition of your body. And this is so strongly realized also too, because I didn't get sick. Of course, I was quite isolated, etc. But why did I get sick? As soon as I traveled, which reduces the amount of water I drink, which fatigues the body, which decreases the digestion, which causes toxicity, in the body. And it reminded me, the last time I was sick in India, I hope there's not too mundane a lecture, but you could see that at least you'll see that I didn't want to tell anybody about my COVID because it wasn't really a big thing. Just the inconvenience it caused being quarantined. So I was going to write about it. So, but you're not going to get it because it's in my computer. Come in. Okay, 1 second. All right. See, they bring my lunch, they bring my dinner, they bring my... Yes, thank you. Say Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay. What's next? This too?
Yeah.
Both?
The soup?
This.
The
Yeah.
dal fry.
What?
Dal fry.
Both. Yeah. This too, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So reminded me the last time I got sick in India, it must have been 30 years ago. And it was the same exact thing. I was in Mumbai and I was doing programs at different people's houses. And the last food I ate was aloo bandhu, which is that fried potato pastry and then when I came to Vrindavan, I had malaria. But at that time, I was studying one book called A Natural Cure to All Diseases. And I was getting confidence in that book, or a yogic cure to all diseases. And to every disease, it had yogic exercises and a detox for the body and a description of what would happen if you did. So I said, I'm not going to pump myself up with chemicals that have to be purified through my liver and sets a vicious cycle. So I'm going to try this. And you're not going to believe this, but in the book, the guy was so dedicated to prove that he can cure any disease that it was not the germ would cause disease, but it can only cause the disease if it festers in the body, which is toxic. So this guy was so healthy, he couldn't get disease. So he wanted to get leprosy and cure it. So the story is he abused his body until finally something came and started coming, and then he cleaned out his body and it went away. So it basically said that if I would fast on water, take some enemas, and do a few exercises, my intestines would be cleaned out. And obviously from the trip to Mumbai and the travel, they created some toxicity that what would happen is malaria is intermittent fevers means you'll get a fever at 12 o'clock noon on Tuesday, 12 o'clock noon on Thursday, 12 o'clock noon on Saturday. That as your body is becoming clean, the fevers would come together. And they would come closer and closer until you have one big fever and it would be gone. And I did that. I fasted on water for, I have to switch. I'm going to lose my thing. I fasted on water for, okay, wait a second. I fasted on water for, fasted on water for 10 days. I never felt better. I never took chloroquine. And I realized it anyway, because everyone was drinking the same water, and some people got sick and some people didn't. So I think this is, in times of a pandemic or whatever it is, I think one of the most important things, and perhaps neglected, is people keeping themselves healthy. People keeping themselves healthy. I'm gonna turn this way. Now, while we're at it, another Indian health story, and this one is pretty amazing. I know it's supposed to be Bhagavatam and philosophy. I hope this is interesting. Considering that I had COVID, I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm blessed generally with strong health. So even though I created a condition where I allowed this disease to fester, it didn't really affect me that much. This was in 1977. This was like over 40 years ago. I was taking the Gurukul students to South India and Bangalore and all these places. It was amazing tour. And then about 3 days before I was about to leave, I got jaundice. I haven't gotten sick. I mean, the first few years, a few things since then. And I got jaundice. And I couldn't believe it. For someone like me, I started sleeping during every class. I lost my appetite completely. I didn't lose appetite or sense of smell, but I lost my appetite completely. And because I was so staunch as a brahmachari, I thought I was in Maya. But then one person, because we were preaching and someone was speaking, he said his mother, a simple housewife, is a Pilia Jornawala. Now, a Pilia Jornawala, Pila means yellow, Jorna means wash, and Wala is the personal. It means someone who can cure jaundice by throwing water with mantras on you. Now, I knew that this was legitimate because in Vrindavan, when I first came, there was this Manipuri sadhu called Shaim Saki, and he used to do this. And my friend, who was a magician, went to check him out if he did any tricks to make the water yellow, because he poured water in it coming. So I went to a simple lady, and she sprinkled in my eyes this water, and yellow came out. I went to a doctor. The doctor told me not to travel for 6 months. There was a 48-hour train ride the next couple of days. And I was eating anything in 2 days. I think the next day. So kind of a miraculous kind of cure. But anyway, I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson. A bit. Yeah. That's the material world. One time, I think Papa was walking on the pier, and someone that's smoking a cigarette or something, and kind of reached out to Prabhupada and said, enjoy. And then Prabhupada said to him, no, you enjoy. And then when he walked past, then the person couldn't happen. Prabhupada said, and suffer. And suffer. Because you suffer in two ways. Of course, we do enjoy. It's part of bhakti. And I always quote that verse, Kamesandriya Pritir Labho Jiveti Yavata, that we enjoy, but not for the purpose of enjoyment, for the purpose of a peaceful mind, so that we can realize God. But we do enjoy to keep the body and mind together. But the problem is two things. Is one, because it's not real enjoyment with our so-called enjoyment separate from the logos, the order of the universe, comes a reaction to prevent us from moving in the wrong direction. And it's not real enjoyment, because real enjoyment is consciousness. It's not things. So anyway, the doctor comes tomorrow. The two doctors, they're real nice. They'll give me the antigen test. If I'm negative, they'll move me back into their little, ashram, beautiful ashram. It's a little hotel, but, South Indian and open courtyard with water, beautiful. They'll open, and then I'll start, and let's see, I can get another. I went down to the minimum 17 days. I mean, one, because of how much it cost, and two, because of how much of time I had. And this day I'll only get about 10 or 11 days. So let's see. But Krishna, when Prabhupada was in Calcutta and was the Indo-Pakistan war, and they would black out at night, the whole Delhi, and someone asked Prabhupada, what would you say if a bomb came? He would say, Hare Krishna, I would see God. So that really has to be our practice. And I don't mind. I laugh. I don't mind when my control is taken away. It just gives me such a clearer viewpoint of who is the controller and how much more I need to advance to see that and learn my dependence on God. Now we'll do a little Chaitanya Bhagavat. So thank you. That was I was going to break the news in another way, but I didn't want it to be alarmist, because COVID can be many things. And for me, it was, in one sense, it was Krishna's mercy, because what better way to get COVID than when you're in a hospital? And it's an Ayurvedic hospital. And it's in Kerala, and the weather's so warm and nice, and I had all my medicines with me. So, Lord Chaitanya, this is real medicine. I could really feel it now. Just being with all of you, and talking Krishna Katha, that's real medicine. We should never think that real medicine is more than the heart. Well, what a profit a man get if he gains the whole world and loses his soul. I know I saw this interview with the Amish who achieved herd immunity, and they didn't have any lockdown, and maybe it was Hasidic Jews, and they said, why didn't you do that? They said, we didn't want to stop our life. And they said, better, and within context, better a broken arm than a broken heart. So this is the real medicine. Machita, matkata, prana, bodhiyantas, parasparam. Machita, my heart. Machita, makata, my goal. Makata, prana, my life. Bodhiyantas, parasparam is God and Krishna, and exchanging with others. And when you do that, Vidanoti Saritsatam, God in the heart cleanses your heart. It's all about the heart. And I always quote that Bardhan Vrindavan, he told me happiness is a heart filled with devotion. So I'm getting it's a compromise how much I'll detox the body, but it's more than being made up with it, how much it's detoxing my heart. And, and it's really reality, and I think God is showing us how much we lack control. Yeah. So this is wonderful that this is life, Lord Chaitanya.
moon is rising, and it's not surprising that there's dancing in the street, telling everyone you meet, we're going home. So he's in Shantipur, the house of Vaitacharya, which is 30 minutes from Navadvip. Because he's come back, he's left because he took sannyas, but he doesn't go to Navadvip, but he can go to the town next and people are visiting him. And naturally, they're real happy because this is happiness. Happiness is love, and the highest love is to God. And in that presence, or the realization of that presence, and I said that's what I have to learn here, that actually that feeling, that connection, that's existential happiness, that's God's love. That's the thing that will satisfy our hearts. So they're coming to see him. And now, one of the greatest devotees in Chaitanya Leela is coming to see him, and he's Vasudev Datta. And Prabhupada talks about his compassion. Jivadoy Krishnanam Sarva Dharmasa. The essence of all religion is compassion. The essence of all religion is to step out of the center. And when you're in the world, the best way to do it is by compassion. And so Vasudev Datta was most dear to the Lord. Prabhu Parama Priya, Parama, the supreme dear to the Lord, Vasudev Datta. And by Tahara Kripa Se Janera, by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, he knew all tattvas. To understand truth is not just an intellectual process. That's one of the main tenets of Krishna consciousness. The Chatur Shloki Bhagavad Gita, what does it say? Tesham satatayuktanam vajratam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tvam yena mam upayanti. For one who worships me, favored, I give him the knowledge by which one can come back to me. We won't do Tesham satatayuktanam. We don't do vajratam. We won't do worship of God unless we have some kind of understanding. That's okay. But the real understanding, the real conclusions will come. Sarvasya chaham hidi sani vishto matasmatir gyanam aponam cha. I'm situated in everyone's heart. For me comes remembrance, forgetfulness, and knowledge. That actually is the fact. Someone who knows conclusive truth is not someone who's just studying the Shastra. Vedeshu durlabam. It's by the Vedas, durlabam. A durlabam atma, someone who has bhakti, a durlabam atma bhakto. Krishna inspires him. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Priyojita Janayat Yasu Vairagyam Jnana Chahara Haitakam. That automatically by devotional service, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Jnana Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Priyojita Jnana and Vairagya. Jnana, knowing what to do, and Vairagya, the discipline to do it, it comes automatically from bhakti. It doesn't mean that one doesn't hear anything, but it means that your hearing will be very effective. Just by a little hearing in bhakti, you can become very, very detached from the material body and thing. You can become very, very elevated and detached just by a little hearing. Bahunam janmanam mante gyanavam mam prapadyate vasudeva samahatma sadulabha. Bahunam janmanam ante. After many, many births. Bahunam janmanam gyanavam mam prapadyate. the Gyani may surrender. Then he'll get the real realization. And therefore, when I was in the Krishna Balaram Mandir, I'd go to the classes. This is 20, 30 years ago. But it wasn't just who was scholarly, one who was practicing. And I told you that story at my Puriyatra when Dr. Fakir Mohan came, the top Gaudiya Vaishnav scholar practically in the world. And I asked him to give class. And when he asked our students who is Shastra Gya, who knew Shastra, and he looked around for the answer. And then he gave it himself. One who is practicing. So this Vasudeva he had Sarva Tattva. Jagatera Hitta Kari Vasudev Datta Sarva Bhute Kripalu Chaitanya Rasa Mate. So these are the two qualities.
No, we can't hear you, Maharaj. No.
At all? How long?
And now it's better. Just a few seconds. Now it's better.
Okay. Okay. Hita is a word in Sanskrit which means welfare. So there's Hita Pradesh. Oops. There we go. Wait. I gotta find this Zoom. Okay. There's Hita Pradesh. Upadesh means instructions. Hita for welfare, to do good for people. So there's Hita Pradesh. There's also the verse about the 6 Goswamis. Nana Shastra Vicharanayika Nipano. Nana Shastra Vicharanayika Nipano. Sadharma Samstapako. Lokanam Hita Karano. They did Hita for the world, for the whole world. Lokanat Hita Karano. They did welfare for the whole world. So here, these are the two things. You basically taste spiritual life and you give it to others. So he was Sarvabhute Kripala Chaitanya Rasa Mate. He was intoxicated by the mellows of love for Lord Chaitanya. He had love of Godhead, and he also was compassionate to all living entities. And I heard a lecture where they're very much connected. Because unless you really have that understanding of the value of that rasa or connection with God, you won't have the sufficient feeling for people who lack that. So let me just see what's going on here. Okay, it's still going on. And this is so beautiful. Gunagrahi, Adosha, Tarasi, Sabaprati, Ishvara Vaishnave, Yata Yogyata Ratim. He would see only good qualities of others and did not find fault in anyone. He had appropriate love and respect for the Supreme Lord and the Vaishnavas. So these are the qualities that we want to emulate. See the good qualities of others. Really, we want to be Vaishnavas. Really, we want to be Vaishnavas. Of course, in a practical sense, we have 4 types of interactions with people of the world. We worship God and the Guru. We make friends with the devotee. We enlighten the innocent and we avoid the inimical. We avoid the inimical. But still, basically, he would only see the good qualities of others. Atmavan manyate jagat. You see the world through your own mind. So when you have a lot of love in your heart, you'll see through that lens. And someone made a real beautiful point that I think we should take to, what a Vaishnava is. He doesn't judge a person for who he is, and he doesn't judge him for the past. They judge him for the future, because we see the result of actually one giving himself to God. It's so purifying. It's so purifying. I was in Mayapur, and it's really an abode of people who really have, so many people have given themselves. And, you give yourselves, and we have all our our qualities are good and our bad, and the good, bad, and the ugly. But that one quality of humility, of absolute truth, and trying to surrender and following and live our life by that rather than our opinions and desires. It's so powerful, it's so purifying, and it should be so respected. And as one great Vaishnava said, we don't see people just Vaishnavas by the ordinary dealings as much as we see them by the inspired side. And our nature is to see what people don't have, not what they have. And if we look at it that way, we'll see the faults in everyone. So I think it's real healthy. It's real healthy to kind of be in that mood. And realistic too. Realistic too. One great Vaishnava said, the greatest hypocrisy is to want justice for others and mercy for ourselves. That's the greatest hypocrisy. And we're like that. But we should hope that people want mercy for us. We need mercy. We all need mercy. How we are executing Krishna consciousness with these bodies under the law of karma in this world. And of course, the world seems to be pushing everyone to a higher spiritual place if they want to go there, because it looks more and more like we won't be able to control the world. So we need to find solace that God is and depend on Krishna. He had appropriate love and respect for the Supreme Lord of the Vaishnavas. I told this story many times where I invited, they sent me the temple in ISKCON to invite Narayan Maharaj to the Srila Prabhupada's, one of his first disappearance festivals. And he was very humble. He said, what will I say? What will I say? And we went on and on. I was trying to really get him to come. And I said, well, maybe you can say what you saw in Prabhupada then that indicated who he'd be now, who he had become. And one thing he said was the ability to relate. And that's really the emblem of culture, the ability to relate. It's one of the foundations of culture. How you treat elders, how you treat equals, how you treat subordinates. And he said when Prabhupada was with a child, he was so affectionate. With a friend, he was so egalitarian. And when someone senior was there, he was very sober. So he had appropriate love. Yogatya ratimate. Appropriate love and respect for Ishvara, God, and the Vaishnavas. Now, when we meet someone like this, and when even Lord Chaitanya meets someone like this, it's a very, very moving experience, because we see a person who moves by love, and it inspires the love in our own hearts. One second here. So I'm just going to read a few verses, and I'll discuss this part later. When Sri Gaurasundar saw Vasudeva Datta, he embraced him and cried profusely. Vasudeva Datta grabbed the Lord's lotus feet and began to cry loudly. Even persons whose hearts were as hard as inanimate objects were unable to maintain their composure when they saw Vasudeva cry. Vasudeva Datta had such wonderful qualities that he could be compared only with himself. The Lord had such love for Vasudeva Datta that he would say, "I certainly belong to Vasudeva." Sri Gaurasundar would repeatedly declare, "This body of mine belongs to Vasudeva Datta. Vasudeva Datta may sell me wherever he likes. This is a fact. No one should disbelieve this statement. One who is touched by the air that has touched the body of Vasudeva Datta will always be protected by Krishna. Listen, O Vaishnavas, I tell you the truth. This body of mine belongs to Vasudeva alone." Vasudeva alone. When the Vaishnavas heard the Lord's merciful statements about Vasudeva Datta, they joyfully chanted the name of Hari. Gaurasundar knew how to increase the glories of the devotees. As the devotees glorify the Lord glorifies the devotees. In this way, Lord Sri Gaurasundar joyfully stayed a few days in the house of Srivas. So as you can see, I'm in pretty good shape, except for a head cold. 1 second. And I pray when the two doctors come to see me. Yeah, they bring meals here in these little hazmat suits. I don't know, they're not really, just a little plastic all over their body, and cleaning every single day spotlessly, sending my clothes to the Dobie, bringing the meals, bringing the medicines, labeling everything. So it's quite nice. Okay, Shimuna Jai, why don't we start with you? Let's see if there's any point here that you...
Hare Krishna Raj, I'm thank you for taking the time to reassure us that you are well and showing us that I saw the class enlivening you and reminding us that this is our true health. So thank you.
That's actually a fact. Prabhupada said preaching is life. I feel it.
Yeah, it's
otherwise I'm here, I'm chanting, I'm reading a little bit, I'm in my room, I'm sitting out, I'm from New York, truly. I mean, watching the birds in the trees doesn't do it for me. I'm sitting on the porch. I was sitting on the porch trying to get into it or something, but so this is a way. Okay, good. What else?
I actually also love class in the phone because it looks you're so much closer to the phone. I feel like I'm more with you, so I don't mind when your computer's broken.
Okay, thank you.
And I just want to say, yeah.
Okay.
I just want to say when you're saying about it's more about detoxifying the heart was really big takeaway for me. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, we take care of the health. I mean, as Sadhu told me, bait me, take case here. Without the stomach good, the head's no good. So the health is important. The health's very important. But it's not a goal in itself. But love of Godhead is a goal in itself. Okay, anybody else?
Yes.
Say hello quickly.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hey, Bhakti Devi. Haribo.
Thank you for giving us the whole story.
Yeah.
Can we have a chat after class?
In a half hour, you can call me
Okay.
on this.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I'm
Hi, Bo.
glad to see that your illness is somewhat mild. I'm praying for a quick recovery for you.
Yeah, I'm already recovered. It's just a question of the protocol. I didn't want to tell people because it was really nothing. I mean, it was a mild flu. That's it. Okay.
I'm so relieved.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay. Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hi, Bo.
Braja. Hare Krishna.
It was inevitable, Braja.
I know.
There-
Well, you know, we got it too, Maharaj, over Christmas. Everyone's gonna get it.
You got it too?
Yeah, we were sick for Christmas, but it was like body aches, like a flu, and we had some chest congestion, but just rested and we got through it and drank fluids and had supplements.
I think it's good because now you have the natural immunity, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad
That's
we
all.
got it, actually.
Yeah, this new strand goes really quickly, and I don't think I got it as bad as you. Even I wasn't. There was no bodily aches. I was just enjoying. I was just enjoying sleeping too much, and I couldn't tell it's because I was enjoying sleeping or I was really sick. But generally, I don't sleep that much. But it was just that I could have been having all this nice detox here, and here I am in the forest staring at the trees. So
hopefully soon.
But I think because
program.
because you keep good care of yourself and what you eat.
Yeah.
I think that's the key to not really letting it. I mean, that is the key.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, I definitely saw that. So we dealt pretty good with it. I mean, we were sick, but we just needed time to rest and
I think sometimes we have such a hectic life. It's nice just to stop for a few days and really feel that God has given us no other responsibility. Again, my enjoyment for sleep is getting in. Because usually I get up early, but now I just stay in bed and just stay in bed.
Yeah. Well, you
but
need
I'm
to
trying
rest,
to get,
which is good.
I'm trying to get regulated in the sleep. Okay. Anybody
How
else
you
like to
doing,
say
Betty?
hello? Hi, Bo.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Amala. Glad that you're doing well.
Hi, Bo. I'll answer your letters soon, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. You're in the wrong background. You don't belong in Albany. You belong in Govardhan.
I know. Someplace definitely
Okay.
warmer. Soon, though.
Okay. Anybody else say hello?
Krishna Gumaraj, Kapil Gopinath here.
And Kishori Radha.
Okay, Haribo. Anybody else?
Hi,
Yeah,
Krishna Maharaj. I hope you get well soon. This is Yasan.
I'm well. I'm this new strain. Nothing. Boom. I'm already well.
Okay, that's
nothing.
good.
Do I look?
I'm glad.
Do I look like I'm sick?
No.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Thank you, Yasemin. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Surya Radhika Devidas here.
Wow. Okay.
I'm happy
Haribo.
to hear you that you're doing well and you're feeling better after.
Okay. I don't want to talk about my COVID. It's over. Okay. Haribo. Thank you.
Thank you for the class. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Haribo, Gail.
Yeah, I have one question.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who sees that you look happier now than you did before you got sick?
Well, I'll tell you one reason. I lost all that weight. I put it on in Mayapur. So that's pretty good. It's purifying. But I thought I always look blissful, right? Okay.
Well, today
Gail,
I think even more so today.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is Hemagori.
Oh, hey, Magori. Haribo. Nice to hear from you.
Thank you. Good. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. I'm just going to look through the list, so I'll see everyone that's come for class. So it's really nice that everyone's come for class. Okay, one or two more people say hello, and then we'll go.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. It's Isabel.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Okay.
Good
to
see
you. Okay, great. Okay. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is Shigandarvika.
Shigandarvika, Haribo. Good.
Hare Krishna. Nice to see you happy.
Yeah, I'm okay. I didn't want to say anything because there's no way to people to interpret it. You know, it's a personal thing, and different people react in different ways, and there's different strains. But I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Haribo.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
This is Hemalata Radhirasi.
Haribo. Okay, Haribo. 1 second.
Hare Krishna.
I wanted to thank you for being a master storyteller and for being so happy throughout this whole episode. Thank you so much.
Who is this?
This is Laja Sheila.
Who?
Laja Sheila.
Raja? Oh. Okay.
Laja.
Spell it to me.
Lajjasila. Laja Sheila.
And where do I know you from?
Well, I've attended your programs. I otherwise known as Lucy.
Oh, hey, yeah, of course. Thanks for coming on. Of course.
Yeah, it's okay. It's been a while, but you know, I've wanted to connect with you lately, and I've spoken to another devotee who said that they're happy to give me your email, and so I
contact me my email, and I'll send you my WhatsApp, and we'll talk. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, I gotta just send a message to Bhakti Devi. How do I do that? 1 second. I don't know. Bhakti Devi, I'm going to take, yeah. Yeah, you can try in an hour. I'll come up, you can call me. Okay. If not, I'm not. Okay. Bunch of Kopa, Tubias, Chakras.